A very good afternoon to all of you. So, today we are going to start with the next chapter, that is wireless local area network. So, WLAN. So, we have completed 7 chapters. So, just I will go through your syllabus. So, we are here, wireless LAN. So, we have started this chapter number 7. Now, these 3 chapters are very small chapters. So, we will able to quickly wind up your whole syllabus. So, up to this, we have completed, and remaining 3 chapters we are going to complete within 2 to 3 weeks. So this is a time frame where we are going to complete. Labs we have already completed. So now we are going to move with the mobile communication, or you can say the cellular telephone. So most of the peoples who are here, they are using this technology. Using and developing this technology is very different, because using that technology doesn't mean you know everything about that technology. So before using, we need to understand. So first we will understand how the communication has been made, and how the communication has been done. So we are having a short video for that purpose. But before that video, we are going to understand the different terminology which is used in the cellular communication. So uh, this is the basics, you can say the basic terminology which is used in the cellular telephone system. So first one is mobile station. So the mobile station is your mobile phone, so mobile handset or any other pages, and all those things are known as mobile station. Second one is cell. So cell is, you can say, it's a coverage area. But if want to simplify the term, that cell, it's a coverage area. So can anyone suggest what kind of shape you want to select to cover the maximum area? आप कैसा शेप सिलेक्ट करोगे कि एरिया मैक्सिमम हो? बहुत सारे शेप्स है आपके पास, स्क्वायर है, रेक्टेंगल है, सर्कल है, हेक्सागोनल है, पेंटागन है. So which kind of shape you should select to cover the maximum area? आप कैसा शेप सिलेक्ट करोगे? जैसे बीच में एंटीना है, तो एंटीना रेडिएट करेगा, तो आप कैसा शेप बनाओगे कि इसका कवरेज एरिया इतना होगा? आइदर यू कैन गो फॉर सर्कुलर. What will be the issue? So first problem we will find over there. So can anyone suggest any kind of shape that will cover the maximum area? कोई भी एक शेप. Spherical. A spherical, we are not going in the 3D shapes. We only 2D shapes are there. So just focus on the 2D shape. Circle, rectangle, square, pentagon, hexagon. So tell me any shape. Circle. Okay. If you select a circle, then there is a problem. What that problem will be there? Say for example, just I am drawing different circles. Say for the first antenna is covering this much area. Now the second antenna will be there. So just I will draw the second antenna. which is adjacent to the first antenna. Now I will draw the third antenna which covers the next area. So this one is the third antenna. Now you can take fourth antenna. Now if you select this kind of shape, then what will be the problem? Here you can see that there is a white space over there. This white space indicates that there is no coverage area in that space. If this will happen, what will happen? If some people is standing over there, he will not get the network from any of these antennas. तो बीच में जो खड़ा हो गया तो उसको चारों एंटीना में से एक एंटीना भी कैच नहीं होगा. So this shape R or Patik area has the maximum coverage, so that is the most suitable shape should be there. Then the second shape you can select the square one. So if you select the square one, then you can cover the whole path. So just if I place square or rectangle, so I will select square. So obviously you will able to cover the whole area. So there will be no space where you are not getting the coverage. So everywhere you are getting the coverage in the shape of square. But now there is a problem with the antenna. Antenna will radiate all the signal, or you can say the omnidirectional antenna we are using in the cellular phone. So if you are using the omnidirectional antenna, that means the strength of the signal at every point in all the direction will be equal. So if you are standing at R from the center in the east direction or west direction, so the strength of the signal will be remain same. तो आप ईस्ट में खड़े रहो या वेस्ट में खड़े रहो, उतने डिस्टेंस आपको सिग्नल की स्ट्रेंथ सेम मिलेगी. So what will be the problem? So if a person standing here at the corners of your square, then he will not receive the signal properly by the antenna. So then there is a problem. So what we have did, we have chosen the combination of circle and rectangle. So we have come up with the solution. Okay, we can go for the hexagonal shape. So our whole area will be divided into small cells, and each cell will have a shape of hexagonal. So it's a representation. It doesn't mean that antenna will radiate like this only. So एंटीना तो सर्कल में ही रेडिएट करेगा, बट हम जो शेप है वो हेक्सागोनल लेके चलते हैं ताकि हम इजिली कवरेज डिफाइन कर सके. So that will be the second thing. Third is base station. So base station is that point where your antenna is residing. So base station is your switching point, you can say. So each cell is having its own base station. तो हर एक सेल के पास अपना एक बेस स्टेशन तो होगा ही होगा. तो एक का एक एंटीना होगा ही हर एक सेल में. Then the last is mobile switching center. So each base station is controlled by a switching office that is called mobile switching center. Now we will see the scenario. What will happen? Say for example, a person is moving from one cell to another cell. So say for example, when it is in cell 1, he is having tower 1, or you can say the first antenna which is on left hand side, he is connected with that. Now when he moves to the next cell, so what he need to do, he have to, because the automatically he is out of the boundary from the cell 1, so the strength of the antenna 1 is very weak, so you are not able to connect with that antenna. Now you have to connect with the another base station, so you need to connect with the another antenna. Say for example, it's second antenna. So how it is going to take place? So this process is known as handoff. So when you are moving from one cell to another cell, what will happen? This your mobile is comparing the strength of the signal. So if your signal strength from the antenna 1 is lesser than the antenna 2, then automatically it will switch the base station. So the base station will be switched. So now the next, or you can say you are connected to the next antenna. Now there may be some problem. Whenever the handoff is going on, then you can hear the little bit disturbance because you are moving from one base station to another station. तो जब आप ऐसा कर रहे होगे, हैंड ऑफ हो रहा होगा, तो थोड़ा बहुत डिस्टर्बेंस आता है. So now there is another problem. अब ये बेस स्टेशन तो बहुत छोटे छोटे हैं. So if base station you are moving in a car, अगर आप सिंपल चल के चल रहे हो तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But if you are moving in a vehicle which is running at a very high speed, or you are on highway, so you are moving at a very high speed, then lots of handoffs will be there. तो आप हर बार एक बेस स्टेशन से दूसरे स्टेशन पे में जाओगे, दूसरे से तीसरे में जाओगे, तीसरे से चौथे में जाओगे, तो इसमें कॉल ड्रॉप होने के चांसेस ज्यादा है. So when you are moving, there is a chances that your call can be dropped because the other station has its own capability. तो अगर सपोज करो कि वो स्टेशन 20 यूजर्स को हैंडल कर सकता है और आप 20 यूजर्स उसमें यूज कर रहे हो उस एंटीना को, और आप 21वें यूजर हो, तो आप उस एंटीना को एक्सेस नहीं कर सकते. तो आप एंटीना नहीं कर सकते तो क्या होगा, आपका कॉल ड्रॉप हो जाएगा. तो उसको सॉल्व कैसे करेंगे, जब आप बहुत स्पीड में मूव कर रहे हैं तो उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए कुछ करना पड़ेगा. सो वी हैव कम अप विद द सॉल्यूशन दैट अम्ब्रेला सेल. नाउ व्हाट इज अम्ब्रेला सेल? अम्ब्रेला सेल इज अ बिगर बेस स्टेशन और इट इज हैविंग अ हायर कवरेज एरिया. तो जहाँ पे जो हाइट ऑफ एंटीना है, इट विल डिसाइड द कवरेज एरिया. तो हमने पहले भी पढ़ा था व्हाट विल बी use of modulation. So it will reduce the height of antenna. If height of antenna increases, the coverage area is going to increase. So if coverage area is increased, then if you move at a very high speed, you are connected to the umbrella cell. So umbrella cell, if you are connected to the umbrella cell, its coverage area is bigger. So you are not going to disconnect, or you are not going to have a handoff in your mobile station. So this situation can be avoided by that kind of thing. So now we will see the introduction video so you can understand how the communication is taking place.
We will learn about mobile communications, wherein we will study about cellular concept, mobile phone system, features of cellular concept such as frequency reuse and cell splitting, handoff procedure, and global system for mobile or GSM. When we have to call someone, we just take out our mobile phone and dial the required number. But has anyone ever wondered how these mobile phones work? What exactly happens when we make a call from our mobiles? Let's start with the cellular concept. We can make a call from one part of the country to another part of the country. Practically, every city is divided into small areas. Each area is called as a cell. Thus, a cell is defined as a basic geographical unit of a cellular communication system.
Seriously, pay attention. This is important.
As the city is geographically divided into small cells, it is mandatory that all cells must be symmetrical in shape. Based on this, we have four geometrical shapes such as circle, square, equilateral triangle, and hexagon. If we select the shape of a cell as a circle, then the area between the two circles will not get covered by the base station, and any attempt of communication from that area will fail. Thus, we eliminate the circular shape. Hexagon has the highest area as compared to the other two shapes. Thus, we divide the geographical area into hexagonal cells. The next concept is a cluster. A group of cells is called as a cluster. The cluster size is not fixed. It depends on the requirements of the area. Let's study the mobile phone system now. The basic structure of the mobile phone system is as shown, where MS means mobile station, BTS is base transceiver station, BSC is base station controller, and MSC is mobile switching center. In this diagram, MS is nothing but the mobile phone of a user. Every cell has its own base transceiver station at its center. Whenever a call is set up, the first signal is sent to the base transceiver station of the cell. From this base transceiver station, it goes to the central base station controller, which controls the working of all the base stations. From BSC, it then goes to MSC, or Mobile Switching Center, which is the master controller of the entire system. These MSCs are different for different areas. From MSC of Area 1, the signal is transmitted to MSC of Area 2, where it follows the reverse sequence as MSC to BSC, BSC to BTS, and from BTS to MS. Whenever a user makes an attempt to call someone, a separate channel is assigned to the user by the MSC. If all the channels are already occupied by other users, then this user has to wait for a channel to become free. In such a case, the user gets the notification such as call cannot be completed or network error, etc.
Hey, it's time to concentrate now.
Now let's see the features of the cellular concept. Its first feature is frequency reuse. In frequency reuse, same set of frequencies are used for radio channels located in different areas. As shown in the diagram below, every cell named as A uses the same set of frequencies. The advantages of frequency reuse are many transmitters of small output power operating at the same frequency can be used. It reduces the minimum height of the transmitting antenna as each antenna has to cover a small distance. But the disadvantage is that if the system is not properly designed, then it may lead to co-channel interference. Co-channel interference is a phenomenon in which two frequency signals of adjacent channels interfere with each other. The second feature of the cell
So if you discuss about the co-channel interference, what it is, like if you say this is a one station, so just I will explain you what is co-channel interference. Now you can see everywhere there is some antenna and it is using different frequencies. So for example, here I will name this is A. So it is radiating. A is having some different frequencies. B is having different. C is having different. D is having different. E, F, G. So this is one cluster. So if this is one cluster and you have assigned B here again, so what will be happening? These two channels will have the same frequency, or you can say this antenna and this antenna is using the same frequency, which is assigned as a B. So now they are adjacent to each other. So due to the adjacent, what will be happening here? There will be interference at the boundary of this cell. So to avoid that interference, what we are doing, we are placing this signal apart in such a way that there will be no interference. So this is known as co-channel interference.
is a phenomenon in which two frequency signals of adjacent channels interfere with each other. The second feature of the cellular concept is cell splitting. In In cell splitting technique, each cell is divided into smaller cells, known as microcells. The radius of these small cells is half of the original radius. Cell splitting technique proves advantageous when the traffic of cell phone users increases beyond the limit of a regular cell. Let's see what do we mean by a handoff procedure. Consider a situation where we are traveling from place A to place B via a car. Sometimes it happens that for a short period of 2 or 3 seconds, the signal strength on mobiles becomes very low, and again it increases and reaches its normal level. Have you ever thought why this happens? The answer to this question is the handoff procedure. When someone, user X, travels in area A, he receives the signal from base station A. That is, antenna A has a strong hold on out device's signal. But as he moves away from antenna A, the signal strength gradually decreases. At a boundary of cell A, the hold of antenna A on the device is minimum. At the same time, when the device is about to enter into cell B, base station B starts to take hold on the device. Thus, at the border of cell A and cell B, both the antennas have equal amount of hold on the device of user X. As user X crosses the border and enters into cell B, area B, strength of base station A very rapidly decreases, and strength of base station B rapidly increases. In short, the device receives the signal network from base station B. But during this procedure, the call is still on.
Hello, sir.
Now here, if, if you see, there are two types of handoffs will be there. So if at the boundary we are at certain condition, like if we are crossing from area A to area B, so if area A antenna is there and area B, so as you crosses in the area B, if area A antenna loses its strength or loses its signal, so that is known as hard handoff. But if sometime it may happen that in this area also you can have the connection with area A. So once the signal strength of area B antenna is proper enough, then it is going to handoff. So this kind of handoff is known as soft handoff. So there are two types of handoffs. One is soft handoff and second one is hard handoff.
So now move.
Hence, base station A handovers this call to base station B without any effect on a call. This procedure is known as the handoff procedure. This process happens so rapidly that the user never notices it. We all know that there are two types of systems available as GSM and CDMA. We will only study the basics of GSM system. GSM stands for Global System for Mobile. GSM is nothing but a big system made up of few small systems such as mobile stations, switching subsystem, NSS, operating subsystems, OSS. The architecture of this GSM network is as shown. Mobile station, MS. MS is nothing but the device used for communication, such as cell phone, fax machine, etc. Base station subsystem, BSS. BSS gets connected to MS via radio interface. It has two different blocks as BTS, base transceiver system, and BSC, base station controller. Practically, every MS gets connected to BTS of that area. This BTS sends the signal to BSC. Many BTS are connected to one BSC, and at the end of this, BSC is connected to MSC. Hence, BSS system consists of BTS and BSC. Network and switching subsystem, NSS. This system mainly contains MSC. MSC is the backbone of the entire network. It controls all the operations from setting up a call till the handoff procedure. Other blocks of NSS are HLR, Home Location Register, which keeps the database of all the users who reside in the same geographical area. VLR, Visitor Location Register, keeps the track of all the users who are visitors for that particular geographical area, mainly roaming customers. AUC, Authentication Center, mainly controls the authentication of the users by checking their SIM numbers, etc., and sends the required information to the MSC. Let's take a quick review of what we have learned. We started with the cellular concept where we learned that every geographical area is divided into hexagonal shaped small areas called as cells. A group of such cells is called as a cluster. After that, we studied the basic structure of the mobile phone system, where MS means mobile station, BTS is base transceiver station, BSC is base station controller, and MSC is mobile switching center. Whenever a call is initialized, a signal follows the sequence as MS to BTS, BTS to BSC, BSC to MSC of area 1, from MSC1 to MSC of area 2, from MSC to BSC, from BSC to BTS, and from BTS to receiving MS or user. Next, we studied features of the cellular concept, such as frequency reuse, in which the same set of frequencies are used for radio channels located in different areas, and cell splitting, where each cell is divided into smaller cells known as microcells. Next, we studied the handoff procedure, where we learned how a control over a call is transferred from one base station to another base station when a user travels from one area to another. Lastly, we saw a GSM system consisting of different subsystems as mobile station MS, base station subsystem BSS, network and switching subsystem NSS, operating subsystem OSS.
Okay, in this video, he has covered all the topics which has to be studied by a computer engineer. He need to understand. So, what are the basic fundamentals you need to know in a cellular telephone system? All of these are covered. So, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Else, we will start in 2 minutes. So, you can take a break of 2 minutes. Then we will continue to the next topic. So, where I will explain how the frequency reuse concept frequency is reusing, why we are doing that, and what are the benefits we are getting from the frequency reuse. So this is the most, or you can say the heart of your mobile communication system, cellular system. So you can take a break of 2 minutes. So we will be back at 12:33. Okay, so we will continue to the next topic, that is frequency reuse concept. So as we know, we are having a fixed spectrum. So frequency spectrum we have seen multiple times throughout this course. So we know that our frequency spectrum is fixed. So we have a limitation of uses of frequency. So the whole frequency spectrum has to use by all cellular communication systems. So you need to reuse the frequency. If you don't reuse, you need a very wide band of frequency range. So that is not possible. So that's why we are reusing the frequency, and we are maintaining the distance between these two frequencies. So if you see here, these two and these two, this is having the maximum distance from all these two, so that you can avoid the interference between two signals. So say for example, one is very nearer to three, but these two cells are using different frequencies. So if they are having the different frequency, that means there will be no interference between these two signals. So what we have learned in the frequency hopping, that kind of things will be there. So both are residing, both signals, the cell number 3 and cell number have used different frequency components. So if they are having the different components, so there will be no interference in the signal. So original cellular telephones will have the transmitters, so transmitter and receivers. So every antenna can transmit as well as it can receive the signal. And whatever the antenna you are using in your mobile phones or the other antenna, they radiate in omnidirectional way. That means the radiation pattern will be having will be like this. If you're throwing a if you throwing a big brick, if you're throwing a brick in a pond, then it will radiate something. So the pattern will be same as the pattern of this antenna will be same as that kind of thing. So it will radiate equal in all the directions. So this kind of radiation pattern will be there. So mainly, if you see the roughly thumb and rule, what they are using, they are having 20 subscribers per channel. So each channel will have the 20 subscribers. So they are not exceeding them more than 20. So if it is exceeding more than 20, then there will be very less bandwidth accommodation will be there. So you will have a interference. So what the frequency reuse meaning? So here, say for example, 232 is there, or it's a frequency of 232. So you cannot use in this cell. So after this, you can use here, you can use here, you can use here to avoid the interference between those two signals. So no adjacent signals should be residing together so that interference can be avoided. So this is known as frequency reuse. So why we are using that frequency reuse to avoid the number of channels. So after some distance, we are placing the same frequency in the same cell. So here first frequency will be there, second, third, fourth. So the frequency of all red cells will remain same. The black should be, or any black where the black cells are there, you can't place that same frequency. So if you don't use the frequency reuse concept, the number of people can be served using that services will be very less. So that should not be the case. So that's why you need to use the frequency. So because you can see as the number of users increasing day by day, so you need to increase the coverage area, and the number of users can connect. So there are some rules to use channel. You can use the reuse the frequency. So these are the these are the following conditions. So first, how many times we can reuse the channel in an area, that you need to calculate. Then the channel reuse factor will be number of cells divided by 7. Why the number of cells divided by 7? Because if you see here in this figure, so how many cells are there? Where no is written, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in between 7. So that's why this 7 is there. So so if 20 cells, reuse factor is all about 3. So 20 divided by 7, so it will be around 3. So you can use that 3. So frequency can be 3, frequency can be used. So this is the rough thumb rule which you can use. So just now we will see the capacity of a cellular telephone. So if 100 channels are there and we are having 15 cells, so 100 channels, every channel will have 20 subscribers per channel, and we are having a reuse factor of 3. 15 divided by 7, so it is around 2 point something. So about 4,000 subscribers can be accommodated in this 100 channels. So this will be the calculation how they have made 100 channels multiplied by subscribers multiplied by reuse factor. That will be the formula for that. Now handoff. So I have already told you that two types of handoffs can be there. It can be either soft handoff or it can be a hard handoff. So in hard handoff, it is compulsory when you are moving from first mobile base station to next base station, you have to do the handoff. But in the soft handoff, if you are in the station D coverage area and the signal strength is weaker than the signal strength of uh, area A, then you are continuing to use the same station. So this is in this way the handoff will be there. So roaming, we have seen we are having different registers. So So we are having home location register. So if you are like you have purchased your SIM phone from Gujarat or this state, so your number will be allocated in the Gujarat. So it will be in home location register. And right now, if you are moving somewhere else, like you have moved in Maharashtra and you are using the same mobile phone or same SIM, then it will temporarily register you in your visiting visitor location register, so that you can make the call. So in this way, you can make the calls from the different things. So here the controls, how there are the various controls on the on-site. So that controls are, we are having the mobile telephone switching office will be there. So it is available everywhere. So it will control the multiple cells. This ILEC ICX stand for carrier. So it's a local exchange carrier. This is your POP. Point of presence. So this in this way, these different things, these different components are used to carry your information. So if you are making a call, the procedure will be different. If you are sending a message, the procedure will be different. Because if you are making a call, it will directly going to connect with the next user. But if you are sending the message, it may happen that that message will deliver on the later on time, because right now your line will be busy. So that can be done. So we are having a memory over there. So your mobile station MTSO will store that message, and it is having a minimum memory. So if memory is full, then if other user wants to send the message, he can't send. So now there are some issues with the mobile communication. So the mobile communication is working on the basics concept of line of sight communication. So if your antenna is visible to your mobile station antenna, then only you can communicate. So if you are in jungle, then you are not your mobile station is not able to see that antenna, or it is not like viewing that antenna from that place. It is like the signal can move from that place to that place. So they should be in the line of sight communication. So the absorption of wooden things is little bit higher than the concrete and all those things. So that's why the problem will be there. Now there is another problem when long buildings are there, then there is a chances of interference, because the signal reflection will be there. When it is striking on the wall, it is get reflected from there. So some due to that reflection. So due to that reflection, there will be interference. So these kind of other issues will be there that is not a part of the syllabus. So that is all about that cellular communication. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask. So attend a roll call. Jadip, D2D1. Big Data 1,
Present, sir.
2,
Yes, sir.
3,
Yes, sir.
4, 5,
Present, sir.
6, 7,
Yes, sir.
8,
Yes, sir.
9, 10,
Yes, sir.
11,
Present, sir.
12,
Present, sir.
13,
Yes, sir.
okay, AI attendance, 1,
Present, sir.
2,
Present, sir.
3, 3, Divajit, 4,
Yes, sir.
5,
Yes, sir.
6,
Present, sir.
7,
Present, sir.
8, 10, 12, 13,
Present, sir.
15, 17, 18, 19,
Present, sir.
20,
Present, sir.
21,
Present, sir.
22, 23,
Present, sir.
24,
Present, sir. 24.
25,
Yes, sir.
26, 27, 28, 29,
29 present, sir.
31, 32, 33,
Present, sir.
35,
Present, sir.
36,
Present, sir.
37,
Present, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Present, sir. Present.
Present, sir. I was facing some glitch. That's why I left the meeting and came.
38,
Yes, sir.
39,
Yes, sir.
40,
Present.
41,
40 present.
40, 41, 43,
Present, sir.
44, 45,
Yes, sir.
46, 47,
Present, sir.
48,
Present, sir.
49,
Present, sir.
50,
Present, sir.
51,
Present, sir.
52,
Present, sir.
53, 54,
Present, sir.
55,
Present, sir.
56,
Yes, sir.
57,
Present, sir.
58,
Present, sir.
59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 67, 68,
Present, sir.
69,
Present, sir.
71,
Yes, sir.
73,
Yes, sir.
hello,
Sir,
sir, AI 18,
4.
AI 18, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, AI 63.
AI 18 done, AI 63.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else?
Big data 4.
That done. AI 08, That is also done. Anyone else who is remaining? Okay. So bye everyone. Have a nice day.